And welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be working on the forward fuselage upper section, particularly the substructure that will support the instrument panel. Overall, it wasn't terribly difficult to work. There's a few places where it's hard to get the squeezer in, so you have to resort to trying to utilize the bucking bar and holding all the pieces together and holding them upright and that kind of thing. But for the most part, not too terrible of a section. Now, I don't actually get everything complete. The section includes installing all of the hydraulic lifts for the canopy, installing, I believe this also has you install the canopy release mechanism, and those parts I have not yet finished, but I get the substructure done so I can get it in place. Because the next video is going to be me painting or experimenting with painting the interior of the fuselage. As you've seen, I've gone with this the self-etching green primer paint. It's a rattle can self-etching primer paint from SEM. And for the most part, it does okay. I've noticed that, I don't know if it's, I think I've spoken this before, but I don't know if it's because I moved to Oregon from Arizona, but it seems to flake quite a bit more. And I don't think I've changed how I prep pieces before I paint. So in the interior, I had initially thought I would stick with this green self-etching primer, but I instead decided to go ahead and paint the interior the gray epoxy paint. So that'll be the next video. So now I'm just working on some of the structure portion of this, and this right here, I believe is the map box, is what I'm currently working on. I don't know that I fully see what this part will end up being ultimately. Obviously it's a support structure, and it'll have skins going over top of all of this, which that part I'm going to actually leave off until, kind of like the wings, where it'll be one of the last things to go on when I determine that there's nothing else that I need to do. I don't want to limit my access to the forward portion of the fuselage, dealing with anything that I need to get into. Whether that's wiring, electronics, that kind of stuff, or if I need to work with the rudder pedals. I don't want to have to dig underneath the fuselage or the panel here and contort myself to get there. I had a Cherokee 235, and anytime I wanted to look at the avionics of that and look at the wiring or anything like that, I always had to really contort my body to get underneath that panel. So I don't want to do that with this. I want to have everything open and as much access as I can until the very last point. So all that to say that more than likely that forward skin won't go on until I'm ready to put the canopy on. So I've got some time. The rest of the structure is fairly straightforward. There's a few, I do remember there was a few rivets that you had to do in a particular order because other pieces would later be installed, and so you had to really be watching which holes that you're supposed to rivet and which ones you're supposed to leave open for a later date. As you can see, I do a lot of taping over any of the holes that I don't want to rivet, just to remind myself. I have caught myself in the past where I thought I can get away with it, and then I realized, oh crap, I riveted the wrong hole. So strongly recommend sticking to the tape method throughout, because you constantly will see instances where it tells you not to rivet this particular hole until a later step. So what else? As I talked about, I'm going to be painting the interior of the fuselage in the next video, and again, it's something that I constantly struggle with. I've never painted anything with this kind of system. I've always just used rattle can, and so I'm still trying to learn how to do it, and that's why I say that I'm experimenting with painting the interior. The issue that I come into is that I can't seem to get that finesse where it comes out and it's smooth and it's nice. I'm fairly certain that I'm doing all the correct prep. I mess with the airflow, I mess with the viscosity with thinners that's added to the epoxy paint, and it always just comes out textured. So I've decided that my interior will be a textured interior. Now, obviously, that's not going to be what I want for the exterior, so that will be done professionally, and that I'll take it to a shop and have them do that for me. Now, aside from that, I think the interior, it's a, you'll see in the next video, it's going to be a gray color, and I think I'm just going to leave it with that. I've seen some folks that'll paint it a black or a dark interior, and that just gets too hot. I do have family down in Arizona, and I'll fly down there on a regular basis, so I don't want to park this in the summer heat down there with a black interior. So I think I'll keep it a light gray or something toward that effect. But that'll be a bit down the road. So now you can kind of see what this forms out to be. You're looking at the aft portion of this. That face right there is looking at or toward the pilot. And then those two brackets that stick out from that is where the panel support piece will attach to. And you'll see that in a later video. Now, I don't have, like I said, I'm not finishing this entire section, so I don't have the entire thing recorded. But this is essentially where I leave this at before I install it into the fuselage. And so, again, I'll put this in the fuselage, and then the next video will show me painting the interior. So it's coming along. Again, trying to get these caught up to where I actually am, and it's coming along. I'm getting close. I believe this was recorded in December, so I'm only about a month and a half behind in getting these videos out. So I'll continue to try to get these out to you and kind of get you caught up with where I'm at. Again, for all the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. If you have any comments or questions, by all means, reach out to me. Either leave a video or a comment to this video or something, and I'll get back with you. I enjoy interacting with folks when it comes to anything aviation related. And with that, I'll go ahead and leave this off here, and we'll see you guys next time around. Again, I'm going to try to get these out a little more often and get you caught up, but it is what it is. All right, we'll see you next time.